Alright, I'm back. More live streaming. I know what you're thinking. For those of you who have watched my channel for a while, I would have imagined that at this particular time you would have thought I had forgotten about the people who watch my channel who aren't looking for Dungeon Master advice. And I haven't actually forgotten about you. I just haven't got round to making those videos. Not because they aren't difficult or easy to make. It's got nothing to do with that. I just didn't have my heart in it. But today we're going to do that very thing. We're going to continue on with the Bard. How's it going, Brandon? Now you will find the start time for this video down in the description, so you can get past all of my waffle if you really want to. Not really an issue. Now, if you haven't been part of my live streams before, normally what I do is I will present everything first and then open it up for questions and answers. So the sound seems to be working fine, which is good. Now you will find there might be some slight distortions in sound as I'm doing this video because I will be demonstrating with miniatures, which means I have laid things out. That means the sound will occasionally bounce off the table or off the desk itself. And there's nothing I can really do about that because I can't put sponge down at this present time. That wouldn't make any sense. Ugly Weirdo. How's it going, Ugly Weirdo? Okay. Let's get on with the video. Let's do this topic. It's a pretty... I don't really think that many people are going to use this particular information that often because whoever gets to level 20 that often. But anyway, let us start the video. Let's get on with the topic. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler, and guess what? I'm going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e. And as it happens, I'm going to talk about the Bard. Now, more than a few of you know that I have played a Bard at low levels. I've never played a Bard at level 20. So what I'm talking about is not at the perspective of somebody who has done that. I just want to make it completely clear to you. I am not honestly a fan of the Bard, but I cannot dispute that the Bard is an incredibly powerful and versatile, flexible player character. And one of those features is Bardic Inspiration. I'm going to talk about Superior Inspiration. If you ever get to level 20, we're going to talk about Superior Inspiration. Now, this feature is very simple. You will find that page number for the Player's Handbook is on 54. So if you turn to page 54 of the Player's Handbook, you'll find information on Superior Inspiration. And here is the basics. It's just a couple of sentences, very, very simple. At level 20, when you roll initiative and have no uses of Bardic Inspiration left, you regain 1 use. That's it. So there's no talk about you have to have a long rest to use this feature again. That means if you have 5 or 6 battles or combats and you have to roll initiative, you're going to get back one of your Bardic Inspirations, provided you have used them all up. So that means, and I've said it before in other videos, if you're going to use Bardic Inspiration, don't muck around. Just use them. Don't save them for a rainy day, because I've seen far too many players do that exact thing. They save it up, they think they'll use it later on, and they get to the end of the game session and they haven't used up all of their Bardic Inspirations, and then they have a long rest and, you know, well, they just lost the opportunity to use their Bardic Inspiration. Now, what I have to say about Bardic Inspiration and Superior Inspiration, I really think that Superior Inspiration is one of my favorite. I really like the high level Bard feature. It really draws on the fact that inspiration for a Bard is the Bard's main purpose. I actually feel like spellcasting is an important aspect, but Bardic Inspiration is right up there. There are no major issues or questions that are related to Superior Inspiration on Sage Advice. So if you're looking through the Sage Advice material, you won't find anything that stands out that sort of suggests that there might be problems that you need to worry about. I would suggest going and checking out my video on Bardic Inspiration, because I have done one if you want to go and look at the mechanics for that. Now, this feature is designed to give you a major benefit in combat. So, as I said, make sure you use it. If you ever manage to get to level 20, because it's a long progression to get to level 20, as we all know. As you can see on the chart, it takes a little while, it takes a bit of time. Okay, so three things I want to just make, I want to illustrate. What I did notice on the internet was there were a lot of discussions about the fact that people view superior inspiration as one of the worst level 20 class features. And I don't know why people view superior inspiration as one of the worst class features. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The bardic inspiration feature is one of the strongest, most useful and flexible of all the class features, and that has nothing to do with superior inspiration. That's just your bardic inspiration class feature. And you get quite a few uses of it. It's not something that is a difficult commodity to get by. You know, you're going to push up your charisma. You're going to have probably about 5 uses in any given adventuring day, which is actually quite a lot. And the dice value increases over time. So I don't understand what people are thinking, okay? All right, so what I want to do is I've got a little scene here. We're talking about high-level characters here. Our bard is over here with the wizard and our ranger, and they're currently fighting 2 mummy champions that have some broadswords. They have a mummy lord who is spellcasting, and there's a skull champion over here as well that's battling the barbarian. And this is where it really sort of changes the game, okay? Because when you roll for any kind of ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, a bardic inspiration can be added to that. So, and it's only a bonus action for the bard to use, as we know, right? So the average on a 20-sided dice is rolling a 10 or 11, okay? Then, if you give them bardic inspiration, and you select the individual who is going to need it the most, and you're going to use your bonus action to do that. Now, at level 20, you get a 12-sided dice. That means the average you're likely to roll for that dice is a 6 or a 7. That's a lot. So that means you're 16 already, and there's no modifiers applied to that already. That's a huge benefit. You know, 12-sided dice. Okay, so my suggestion to you is don't forget to use it. Make sure you do use it. And for those people who feel like bardic inspiration being superior, or the superior inspiration feature is weak compared to the other classes, I don't actually feel like it is. I think it's actually one of the most versatile and useful features. And I looked at all the other classes to see sort of how it stood out. And honestly, I don't see any other option for the designers. If you get bardic inspiration back beyond just one use, okay, when you roll initiative for a battle or a fight, if you were to get all of your bardic inspirations back when you rolled initiative with this feature, that would be far beyond overpowered. Well and truly. That's my view anyway. Okay, now if you have any questions on superior inspiration for the bard, then please put them down in the comments. If you want to support the channel, watch more of my videos. I have plenty of videos on the bard if you want to go and check them out. And I have videos for dungeon masters, not just players. I have affiliate links down in the description that help support the channel as well. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you really want to be notified when I go live, then make sure to hit the bell button and check your YouTube settings. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm not gone. For those of you who are here, I'm going to jump in here very quickly and just have a quick chat with you, and then I'm going to go back to work and go and start looking for some work. Alright, so that should have shifted over the screen. It's not a very complicated feature. I think the real issue for a lot of people is the belief that superior inspiration, not hard to understand, but they just feel like it's not very good in terms of a level 20 feature. But if you have 5 battles, that means you're going to get back 5 uses of your bardic inspiration in the same day, and it can make a big difference. Hi Josh, how's it going? I think players tend to do that with the standard inspiration also. I can't award you extra inspiration, so use it, lose it, and get it again. That's exactly it. I feel like I mean, the mechanic for inspiration that you assign for a reward is very different to the reward you get for Bardic Inspiration, because you're not dealing with advantage. You're not rolling two 20-sided dice. You're rolling an extra dice and getting to add that onto the 20-sided dice value, which is a big deal. I do remember that Matthew Mercer on Critical Role changed his inspiration rules to include the fact that they would roll a 10-sided dice, I think it was, and add the value from a 10-sided dice when they had inspiration to the value of the 20-sided dice. So you were always guaranteed that there was going to be a fairly significant increase. That's an increase of about 5. Now, I know why he selected the 10-sided dice for normal inspiration rather than Bardic Inspiration. A 10 means you get, on average, you're going to get a 5. And 5 plus or minus is the same sort of mechanic that you're dealing with when you're dealing with advantage or disadvantage when you don't roll dice. So when you're using a static number, such as a passive check, if you're applying advantage or disadvantage to a passive check, then it would be plus 5 for advantage and a minus 5 for disadvantage. So it actually makes an awful lot of sense. So mathematically, it's pretty much the same, but in the mind of the players, they feel like they're getting a better deal. Just because there's always the occasion where you might roll 2 1s on a 20-sided dice. Brandon, what do you got here? I mean, it's no fighter capstone with a 3rd extra attack, but it's pretty strong, and ability that grants roll accuracy isn't bad. See, I think when people think about that 3rd extra attack for a fighter at the very top of the structure, yes, you do get an extra attack. But now a bard can, if they make sure they used all those Bardic Inspirations up, now they can award Bardic Inspiration in their battle, and they probably won't need more than one, because at level 20 characters are very powerful. They won't need very much of it. And not only that, you can apply it to an ability check or a skill check. Now, ability check covers lots of different aspects, but the real standout features is you can apply that Bardic Inspiration dice roll, which is going to be a 12-sided dice, can be applied to a saving throw. So that deals with a lot of area effect spells and area effect abilities that a creature might have. Really, really important. And you can also use it for attack rolls when you're dealing with high armor class creatures where you may not quite have enough in terms of a modifier, and you're playing the luck of the dice, and you can choose. You got 10 minutes. Chances are you're not going to have a combat that takes 10 minutes, so it's not going to be a big issue, right? So it makes an awful lot of sense to actually apply this, and it is a huge benefit. It really is. What happens when one of your player characters is taken out of the battle by a spell that's cast by a mummy lord casting spells of some kind? That's a bad thing. And they'll be able to cast high level spells, and if you're a dungeon master who likes to change out stuff, and I am, and I'm sure other dungeon masters are, they will do that. So I still feel that superior inspiration is still a very good feature. If you ever get there, which I imagine there'll be just a fraction of people who will ever see that ability used in a game. Ugly Weirdo, what do you got here? Bard isn't straightforward or easy to play, and 5e is appealing to people who want those things. That's right. Bard is one of the more complicated features. I have to say that I've seen a Bard hold its own against many different things, particularly when they multi-class. But even a straight Bard has been incredibly powerful. But it is complicated. There is a lot of things going on. And I've got a friend playing in a game who plays a Bard. He's multi-classed Paladin Bard, but I can't count the number of times that he has forgotten to use his Bardic Inspiration. I know his Bardic Inspiration will be quite high, but I almost never see him use it. He never sort of assigns it to people. He seems to store it and bank it and then forget it even exists. And he said to me on more than a few occasions that he's forgotten to use Bardic Inspiration, and then you'll say, oh well. And I know that those are the nights where he's really tired and things aren't going well for him. But it's actually a common occurrence to forget to use it. So it doesn't get the love it should. Yeah. I understand that. I totally understand that. There are an awful lot of... when I did the poll asking which class to do next, Bard was the one that stood out. That and the Druid. And they probably because they are classes that aren't necessarily covered in a lot of detail. Ugly Weirdo, what have we got here? Full 9th level caster that can add dice to nearly any roll, but it's support focused. Yes, it is support focused. I think that's one of the things that deters or detracts some people from playing Bard, certainly at high levels. I know a lot of people will play Bard and decide that they can pick up something far better at level 20 than taking the Bard level. So they don't ever see superior inspiration ever used in their game, if they ever do play to level 20. Brandon, what do you got here? Maybe there needs to be a light that lights up on character sheets to remind players they have inspiration. Yeah, or you need to draw a big circle around it with your highlighter. Your character sheet, if it's paper, not going to last forever, right? And mine's got holes in it. I'm going to have to replace mine very shortly. But I believe that when you have a character sheet, you need to keep using it until you put a hole through it. And I've put a hole through it, and I'm just about ready to change it up. Okay. All right, you need to keep going, keep the questions flowing, otherwise I am going to take off. Okay, Josh, what do we got here? I tend to use my Bardic Inspiration slots for cutting words. Okay, I understand that. Always wreaks havoc with the DM's plans. I can vouch for that. Yep, I've seen that happen a few times. Cutting words is one of those things. I haven't actually talked very much about cutting words, but I've been steering away from spells. I know a lot of people want me to do videos on spells, particular spells, but it's very crunchy, and I don't really enjoy doing it. Therefore, I tend to do less of them. But yes, I can understand that. But when you think about low-level play, Bardic Inspiration is amazing. I've always seen it used in a way that really was a game changer. It bailed people out a big time. Hello, Matt. How's it going? You are super late, but that's all right, because remember, this video will get released by YouTube, and you can rewatch it. And if you jump in late enough, you'll probably get the start time down in the description, so you can skip past my intro while I'm waiting for people to jump in. Hi Joe, how's it going? I have wooden circles that hold a 20-sided dice, so my players know that they have inspiration or not. Never had a bard in the party yet. Interesting. What I tend to do if I'm playing a bard is I will have the dice in front of me, and I will give it to somebody else. I know people who do something similar, who will place the actual dice they're going to give to a player to grant them inspiration, bardic inspiration that is, not normal inspiration. They'll place it in something like a holder, and then they'll just take it out and give it to somebody and say, okay, roll this dice, and when you finish, give it back to me. For 10 minutes, you can now you roll this and add it to a 20-sided dice roll. And so, yeah, it's a great feature, and it's a good way of reminding yourself that you do have it and that you should assign it to somebody before you wind up taking a long rest, and they've all sort of been wasted. Ugly Weirdo. It's really a shame Bard isn't used more. It's really one of the best 5e classes. Yeah, I think the problem is that it's not considered flashy, and my friend who plays in the home game, he's had to hold the front line and cover the healing for people at the same time. We had games where we only had 3 people at the table, and I saw him hold the front line and heal people who had fallen in battle and still standing. So yes, Maybe it's the way he plays the bard, but yes, I've seen them do rather amazing things. A very versatile class. Ugly Weirdo, full casting progression just makes it amazing. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. We are currently, in my game, we are frustrating the... see, I'm playing a Paladin Sorcerer, and my friend is playing a Paladin Bard, and we have a discussion when we reached level 10 about who's going to pick up Polymorph. So I picked up Polymorph, and I believe that my friend decided to select Dimension Door. So it was a get out of danger free card, basically. Dimension Door means that you can take you and somebody else with you out of harm's way. So he's going to be able to do that when it needs to happen, and we fall into a bad situation, which we should do. We are level 10, so bad things should start happening to our players' characters. Although they do happen at low level as well. Yeah, at this point we should start seeing some very dramatic things happen in our game. So he's got that as a backup, and I'm using Polymorph. But he could have taken Polymorph and just wreaked havoc with the game. Okay, Ugly Weirdo. Excellent use of versatility. Yeah, because, what you do is you look at what other people are taking, and you work as a team, right? Because Dungeons and Dragons is not about one person or one character. It's about you are a cog in a machine, and the machine is the party. And I think a lot of people forget that they are just a component of the greater party. It's not a... This is really, you're playing like the Avengers, where everybody has a particular part to play, rather than one outstanding individual who is going to shift the tide of the battle, because you all have an important role to play. That's why there are different roles for every class. Okay, I am going to head off. There don't seem to be any more questions. Nobody seems to want to talk about anything else. I did notice there's a few people in here. Will I be doing more videos on class features? Yes, I probably will, but it'll be dependent on me having time. So I need to go and look for a job. I have been building my Patreon account. I've still got to get my artwork sorted out, but it looks like it's going to happen. Somebody's actually offered to help me do that, even if I can't get it done the easy way. So that's good. Good news, right? And I am in the process of once I get the artwork sorted out, then I'll start making sure there's some merchandise for you guys to buy as well. Yeah. So taking it seriously, trying to make sure that I can do all the things that you guys will like. Okay, hey, thank you to everybody who showed up. So have a good day, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Look after yourself and look after your family and friends. And I'll see you in the next live stream.